It was time that I returned to Undertale. And what better way to return than to torture myself? I decided that I would come back to the world of Undertale, but I can't heal or save. And believe me, this was a lot harder than it seems. And also, if you like my content and want to see more, consider subscribing. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. So because you got healed in the Flowey encounter, I decided that I would get hit by the friendliness palace to speed up the fight, but for the rest of this run, I would be avoiding damage as much as possible, so no speedrun skips for me. I was initially going to get all yellow credits, but after leaving the ruins, I had remembered I had forgot to spare Megasp, so that plan's kinda ruined. Instead, I told myself I would not flee from encounters. The ruins were extremely easy, and since I get healed at Toriel's house if I take damage, I proceed into the fight with her at full HP. But not before picking up the ribbon for Mettaton later. Now I can't speed up the Toriel fight in any way since I'd be at around 1 HP for a Snowden if I did, so I just dodge all of her attacks normally. Except this one. I kinda got hit there. I wasn't worried about Snowden, even if I was down 3 HP. I instantly sprinted towards the box and picked up a Tough Glove so I could use the stick against the dogs. I ended up reaching Snowden Town without taking any damage. But of course, you get healed right before you fight Papyrus, so there was my 3rd damage during the last boss fight. Before fighting him though, I bought the bandana from the shop for later. You would never expect what happened on Papyrus, however. That was embarrassing. So was that. We don't talk about that. Or that. I wasn't even trying there. But thankfully, I somehow made it through without dying. I broke through my trauma though, and came back to his house with him to hang out. Yeah, I don't care about any of this, let's move on to Waterfall. I entered Waterfall at a grand total of 2 HP, and picked up the old 2-2 instantly. Things were not looking good for me. 1 hit, and I was out. But, I stayed determined, and got to the first Undyne bridge without a single death. The bridge wasn't too difficult, just take your time and you'll be fine. Then it was time for the second Undyne bridge, which is even easier than the first. But now it was time I fought in Mad Dummy at, wait, 3 HP? Yeah, I got healed by Washua so I could spare it. I'm counting it as fair game. Unfortunately, I can't 5-cycle the dummy since I can't take any damage. Instead, I decided I would totally on purpose take damage here and die. But where would the last checkpoint be? If you don't know what checkpoints are, basically, if you die without touching a save point, the game will put you at the last checkpoint you touched. In this case, it was the first Undyne bridge. This system just makes it so that if you die without a save file, you don't have to replay the entire game. It still pushed me back about 15 minutes though. Next attempt, I actually got hit before the dummy, but I still had way more HP than last time. And I entered the fight without taking any more damage. I entered Gerson's shop and bought 2 items, the cloudy glasses for later, and a torn notebook to increase my invulnerability after getting hit. Since I'm doing the true Pacifist route, the notebook's low attack stat means nothing to me. I made it to Undyne without taking further damage, and now it was time to beat one of the easiest battles in the game for me. To keep things easy, I didn't challenge or do Kindergarten Undyne, and although I did end up taking 10 damage in this fight, I still survived. Wait, what are you looking at? I told myself I would not flee from encounters. Oh shut up, you know what I meant. I couldn't take damage to skip the Mettaton quiz, since I'd be left at 1 HP for the rest of the game, so I saved my 6 HP and did it the intended way. But then I encountered Sundir Plain. And then I died to Sundir Plain. And guess where the last checkpoint was? Back at the first Undyne bridge! There goes half an hour. I made it back to Hotland at 15 HP this time, and got put down to 9 by the stupid plane. The rest of Hotland was pretty easy, until I got an encounter with Pyro. This flaming candle brought me down to a mere 3 HP, and I had to fight the Royal Guards right after this battle. But not before snagging the Stained Apron. I usually always get hit at least once in this fight, but this time, I spared them taking 0 hits. Let's fast forward through all the story stuff, and forget I took damage here, and stop on Muffet. I went into this fight at 1 HP, and because I can't heal, no spider donut for me. This was the first time I did this fight normally for so long. And I died halfway through it. The respawn better not put me back at the Undyne bridge. Thank God. I honestly would have quit if it put me all the way back there. Next attempt of Muffet went way better, and I completed it with 15 HP remaining. Next I completed the impossible tile puzzle and entered the core. Here I made it to the Mettaton arena without getting hit a single time. My streak of no damage would end here though, as I took damage here. But here was the time I used all the armor I had saved all game. The ribbon, bandana, tutu, glasses, and apron basically skipped this boss. And I was all for it. I made it to the barrier at 11 HP, and it was time to see if I was strong enough to make it past Asgore. I wasn't. Thankfully, the checkpoint was at the elevator to New Home, and I jumped right back into the fight at full HP. Even though I almost died again, I was strong enough to beat the king. Omega Flowey is essentially impossible without healing, so let's just skip over that and forget it ever happened. While we're at it, let's skip through all the boring story stuff and go straight to the True Lab. The amalgamates were pretty simple, and even though I did take damage, I got through the whole lab at full HP? Yeah, I had the Stained Apron equipped. Fight me. Because they had healed before Asriel anyway, the apron really didn't matter. But now it's time for Asriel. And since you can't die in this fight, I had beaten the true Pacifist dude without saving. Goodbye.